looking good. We're leaving this. This is how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So, great beginning. So, we're clearing the zone because we're not live yet, so this is fine. This is not live. This is cool.
It hasn't been live for 20 seconds.
Yeah, it hasn't been live for 20 seconds. So most of the dating advice on YouTube ends up being completely useless.
Yeah.
It ends up being completely useless because the men who are watching it, whether it's Courtney Ryan, Justin Wayne, whoever it is, or Corey Wayne, whoever it is, whatever advice they're watching, it only matters if they were already approaching women, if they're already getting some results, if they're already getting numbers. Then it could help them. But they never get past that initial phase because it's overwhelming, it's anxiety provoking, and most men, and this was me, I can relate to this very strongly, most men who learn about pickup, they don't even do pickup, and so the advice they're watching ends up being pointless. Yeah. So unless you're able to get past that initial phase, unless you're able to get to the point where you are approaching, where your approach anxiety isn't crippling and giving you panic attacks and making you think that you're literally having a heart attack and you end up in the fucking hospital like happened with me, until you get past that point where you're able to go up to girls, it's not a big deal, you're able to get things going, then it all ends up being pointless. Yeah. So this is the video for the 95% of guys out there who they're watching channels like ours. They're learning about how to improve themselves in terms of dating. They're learning these concepts, but they're stuck in what you might call beginner's purgatory, right? And purgatory is this concept of this place that you're stuck in indefinitely that is extremely painful, extremely stressful, and it feels like you're going nowhere. And the thing is, if you don't know how to get out of this purgatory, you can get stuck in it for years or literally your entire life. For me, it was 5 years. I was stuck in beginner's purgatory. It took me 5 years to approach a single girl from when I learned about the game, right? When I read the game. All it did is taught me to be more socially awkward and to nag the people in my class, and they're like, you used to be cool, and now you're really cringy. Someone told me that when I was 16. Yeah, that would have been fine. No, they said cringe. It just made me more cringy because I wasn't able to do the approaches. I wasn't able to get any results. So this is for the 90 to 95% of guys who are stuck there. This is a practical step-by-step guide for how to actually get started when it comes to cold approach pickup.
I think a lot of you guys need you need to take a lot of pressure off yourself. So first and foremost, I'm surprised by how many people jump onto our programs, Mirror AGs, and constantly they're there's Emily.
And girls hitting you up on Tinder.
Yeah, dude, we need to start using my phone next time. We're gonna be constantly getting messages with this stuff.
So annoying.
So annoying.
Just happens all the time, and no big deal.
So what you guys need to be doing is you guys need to be taking pressure off yourselves. You guys need to start going out. You don't need us on a program. I mean, okay, it's fine if you have to come to us to actually start approaching. I'm not gonna obviously berate you, but I'll say this: you guys should be approaching out the gate. You guys should be figuring this stuff out for yourself. Now, for you, you need to start giving yourself permission. A lot of people don't give themselves permission. You guys don't give yourselves permission. It's okay to go say hi to a girl, and that's okay. You probably don't have yet the faculties or the confidence to do this. That's fine. My first 2 cents is find a group of guys that you can go out with to approach with. Find guys that you can go out with to go out and say hi to girls with. Find a group, find a crew. And a lot of you guys will come up with excuses. There's nobody in my area, blah, 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 not this, not that.
The girls in the UK are all bitches, and then it's the US girls are nicer, and then if they're in the US, they're like, oh, the girls in the UK are so nice, but the ones in the US are bitches.
Yeah, all girls suck. Outside of your area, all the girls are amazing, but in your area, they suck. Anyways, I know that face.
Maybe you suck.
Well, to be fair, it's probably it's yours.
Your excuses suck.
Your excuses suck. You're making excuses for not taking actions that are good for you. It's like the same thing when a fat guy decides oh, I'm not fat. It's that my genetics made me this way. It's not that.
As soon as you believe that, as soon as you believe it's your genetics, you are never, until you change that belief, going to change your results. So the first step is you have to believe it's possible. You have to be open to the idea. You have to be skeptical. You have to not be so emotional and so egotistical that you think you know the truth. The fact is you don't. You don't know whether it's possible to succeed. And a good starting point is you can tell yourself, all right, maybe this pickup thing will work for me. Maybe it won't. I don't know. And that's fine. You can be skeptical that it would work. But I don't know until I get X amount of experience. So you could tell yourself, I'll give you an example. When I was starting YouTube, I told myself, everyone's telling me that you're going to fail. Everyone's saying this isn't going to work. It's like 2020. It's too late. Why even try? You're a dork. No one likes you. Anyway, but people are telling me, why even try, right?
Yeah.
And I told myself, I'm going to do YouTube until I've posted 100 videos. And I just wanted to see. And guess what? By the time I made 100 videos, I was making a full-time living from it. By the time I was having success, I got traction. So this is called, in psychology, it's called creating a bright line. And you can do this with pickup. Tell yourself that until you do, and it should be a substantial amount, until I approach at least 500 girls or 1,000 girls, I'll do that, and then I can have an opinion. Then I've earned an opinion because it's based on something other than goofballs on the internet who probably never approached themselves. And you can be skeptical of us. Yeah, we can. you can think we're those goofballs. That's fine, but base that on evidence, right?
Yeah.
You don't know that what we're saying is untrue. It's only to make money. The pickup never works. No one's ever approached a girl and gotten laid.
Yeah.
Sure. You can have that belief that might be the case, but it needs to be based on evidence. And that's the first thing, is you need to raise your own standards for your own mindset, to not allow yourself to be programmed by just watching some secondhand information, some wheat waffles, black pill, you're not tall enough bullshit. That is not enough. That is not strong enough evidence to make a belief on, and realize that you know nothing, Jon Snow, you know nothing about whether pickup will work for you until you've gone out there. And 500 approaches, that might sound, oh, that's going to take years.
Yeah.
Bro, you can do 500 approaches. If you were
It's not
really
that much.
trying, you could do that in a month.
It's not that much.
You could do that in a month. And by the time you did that, unless you're like the cringiest person on the planet, you would start having some success, and then you would start having some belief that it is possible.
Well, I'm always surprised by people that come to me and they're like, I've already done hundreds of approaches and like I know everything there is to know about pickup. I'm like, dude, that's not.
I did
that
hundreds
much.
of approaches this month.
That's not that much. Dude, no, well, I get it too. It's like, to you, it seems like a big deal. And like, you guys also set like this unbelievably high standard for yourself where you're supposed to be somewhere by some certain time. You guys have never done this before. And it's not just approaching women that makes you good at this. You have to also change who you are, which is very fucking difficult. You can approach all the girls in the world, but if you're not learning critically, you're not changing who you are, you're not going to ever get better at this. And changing who you are is very difficult. It goes through ego death and is painful. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And you have to understand that the amount of effort you put in is just like, it's just setting a gap between you and your competitors. Guess what? Everybody wants to fuck a girl. Everyone wants the hot girl. That dime piece that you want, everyone wants. We want her too. We'll fight her for you. And I'll put it this way. You have to be better than those guys. Put in enough effort to where the point to where you can actually get that girl. And you feel like you have like, it's almost funny to the point to where like, there's been times where I've been out where I felt like I've been time and time again where I fucked like some hot girl, or I go out and I approach, again, so many women. I'm like, why is this not working? And you come to that conclusion time and time again, and you get frustrated, get like pissed off. And you're like, dude, the amount of effort I put into this shit is unreal, and I cannot believe I'm not getting the results yet. And I've seen that so many times. And at some point, it comes down to where it's like, it's no longer about the fact that you are some kind of like standard, or you're like some like, dude, I am the guy that
Another
put in
girl
so much.
texting you, man. It's just so annoying.
I know. I'm trying to watch like the way I'm moving right now. I need to actually turn that shit off. The amount of effort that you put in actually is the thing that is going to set you apart from every other guy. And if you are the man who's willing to put in the effort, who's going out time and time again, whereas other guys, most guys, 99.99% of guys don't go out and approach girls, guess what? You are setting yourself to such a far degree away from them because you're willing to put in the effort that they weren't willing to put in. It's like girls are not comparing you to you in a vacuum. They're comparing you to against other guys. This is a competition. And if you want to get better than every other guy, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the critical work.
And an important part to put there is it is a competition, and the vast majority of guys, I don't know another way to put it, they're cowards.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
they're cowards, and the only way they'll, try to rizz up a girl is through Instagram or dating apps. That's the only way they'll do it. So if you're one of the few guys that is willing to approach in real life, you're skipping the line to a certain degree. You're showing that you have a quality, that you have some balls, masculinity, that the vast majority of modern men are lacking. And so you'll find that in a lot of ways, I think post-COVID especially, even if COVID was real, but that's a aside, post-COVID, post-pandemic, pickup is actually easier than it ever was before because now more men are cowards who are unwilling to take that risk. Anytime you do something that is difficult, that is stressful, and there is a fear of rejection, that's universal. And it is hard to go through that. But think about what that means. That means most guys will not do it They will give up if they try. And if you're one of the few who actually does go through that, now you're automatically at a huge unfair advantage. It's basically a cheat code. Now, one thing I want to add really quickly is we are blasting ourselves with these bright lights. We're going to be blind tomorrow. We had to turn the AC off for the audio.
Sunburn.
We had to, yeah, we're getting sunburned. We had to turn the AC off. So if you're enjoying this content that is a lot more hard-hitting and that is practical, that is something that you can actually use to get real tangible results, as opposed to something that you can mentally masturbate to, although I know that's fun, I know that's easier. But if you're appreciating that, then make sure to hit the like button and leave a comment about your thoughts on, do you think pickup is impossible for you? Do you think that, oh, I shouldn't even try? Or do you agree with this idea that we're putting forward that you need to get real evidence and you should withhold judgment until you've taken a certain amount of action? And one thing that I want to add is, to give you a point of reference, you should think of, if you went out and you approached 5 girls total and you're like, oh, this doesn't work for me, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people watching this, they've approached 5, 10 girls, they've dipped their feet in the water.
Yeah.
That is the equivalent, roughly, of going to the gym for one 15-minute session and thinking, the gym doesn't work for me. I have bad genes. It's not going to work. I can't make progress. I give up. That's what it's the equivalent of. Or playing guitar for 15 minutes, trying to play, Stairway to Heaven. You're like, this is hard. And you give up. So you can think, just to give a point of reference, roughly speaking, 20 approaches is about the equivalent of like actually hitting the gym hard, right? One time.
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't give up on the gym until you had done that again and again and again over the course of weeks, and then you would start deciding whether you see progress or not. But when it comes to pickup, people's egos are so involved that they just tell themselves, oh, that one girl didn't like me, I'm not sure, I'm not tall enough, don't make enough money. They get so emotional about it that they give up at the equivalent point of someone playing guitar for 15 minutes and saying, I guess I just don't naturally have the talent, so I quit. Man, that is sad. Don't let that be you.
It's actually kind of sad. So here's the thing about getting good at game. Getting good at game is also not strictly it's not a soft skill strictly. It is a soft skill, don't get me wrong, but it's a psychological skill too. And it's a manipulating yourself. If you're going out every day and you're depressed
And women.
Manipulating women, no.
Dark wizardry.
To be fair, I've been doing this for a long time, and I tried the whole manipulating other people part. Yes, that does help, and knowing how to do that does help. But the biggest thing that you need to learn is how to manipulate yourself. If you're sad and depressed and cranky and angry at women, and you don't like making friends, you like being like alone and introverted, and you're just trying to do this long enough to give up so you can like live by yourself and like never have to do game ever again, never have to be social, talk to people ever again, you're coming from the wrong frame of reference. If this was working out, if you were hitting the gym, you would be looking at this as like a lifelong thing that you're gonna just love doing, and you're gonna learn to love it. You learn loving gaming. Like me and Avery, we're thirsting at the mouth right now. This is our first weekend off from like doing like this is our first night off in a second, like not being able to coach.
Houston, Miami,
traveling stuff like that. And now we get to go on game. Him and me both. We're gonna go out tonight. We're gonna fuck shit up.
Some bitches.
We're gonna fuck shit up. So yeah, we're excited. We're not like over here like, oh no, we have to go work now. We have to go out and pick up girls. You should love doing this. You should find that love in this. Stop making the process of getting good girls about the women itself. Make it about getting more charismatic. Make it about having more self-amusement. Make it more about being like working on some specific trait, or being more expansive and relaxed. Learning how to be more like, dude, this is a fucking video game. Quit trying to treat it like it's work. Because if you treat it like it's work, and you treat it like the goal is the girl in front of you, the girl's not gonna like you, because now you're trying to force.
She's a dragon that you're trying to slay to get the treasure that is. Well, you got to be censored on YouTube, but you can use your imagination.
We fucked some of the hottest girls, not gonna lie. We also dated some of the hottest girls, and I'll say this: it did not make us happy. What made us happy is the experience and the purpose.
Really sad. If you want a happy life, never make a pretty woman your wife.
To be fair, we're starting to realize that.
I'm joking, kind of.
No,
half joking.
There's not that many pretty women with personalities, unfortunately.
By the way, I see a lot of people are watching this and not leaving a like, so if you are enjoying the video, make sure to leave a like. If you're not enjoying the video, because it helps our channel, it's very easy to do. It sends it in the algorithm. If you don't like the video, leave a comment as to why we suck, so we at least know what we could do.
Yeah, tell everybody why Avery sucks and why I'm the best camera person.
Yeah, definitely do that. Yeah. Do that. Yeah, so, as I mispronounce it. Fuck.
So, here's the thing you got to realize. This isn't supposed to be fucking easy. It's supposed to be actually pretty difficult. If it wasn't difficult, then everybody would be doing it. And if it was easy, then guess what? It would actually be even harder to do this, because the amount of effort you'd have to put into this would have to be you'd have to be out competing the other guys that also want women. Half the people on planet Earth want women. And if that's the case, then guess what? You have to be even more competitive. You have to put in more fucking work, which means that if this was easier, it would increase in difficulty. You have to put in just the same amount of effort to outcompete the other guys that also want to get good at this. That, or you have to work on the quality of effort. Quality of effort being field reports, getting coaching, thinking critically, doing like exercises, doing like improv. Him and me, right before we got on the podcast, we were rapping. We're just fucking around. Right before we got on this, we are just rapping at each other.
Very good job at it.
Oh, dude, it was so great. Yeah, we're the next Eminem. But I'll put it this way. Oh, thank you for whoever just liked the video, by the way. I'll put it this way. It's not supposed to be easy. Stop wanting it to be easy. The harder it is, the more that it's valuable, the more the character you build, because you are trying to change and you have to go through something difficult to change. It's not supposed to be easy. The same way that working out you shouldn't be leaving a workout without your muscles hurting. You should be leaving the workout with something feeling sore. Something should
That's
hurt.
how you know you made progress, right? If you got outside of your comfort zone, if you felt that feeling in your stomach, I don't want to do it, and you did it anyway, then you made progress, right? If you didn't want to go out, but you got yourself to go anyway, then you made progress. That's how you know you're making progress. And if you're not doing anything that stretches yourself, you're probably not making progress. You do want to have fun, but you do also have to push yourself. There's something in flow psychology, and if you don't know, flow states are where you feel your best, you perform your best. It's a state where your sense of time disappears and just everything is natural and everything feels amazing. To get into flow, you have to do something that is 10% above your current skill level. So you have to do something that is challenging yourself, that is stretching yourself, not overwhelming yourself, but that is challenging yourself. So basically, you want to look at it, how do I get 10% better as a beginner? Later it'll be less, but how do I get, say, 10% better every night I go out? How do I do one more approach than I did before? How do I stay out another 20 minutes than I did before? How do I do something, or maybe be a little more physical, hold a little bit stronger eye contact, have a little bit more fun? Whatever it is, you try to stretch yourself a little bit, and no matter what your starting point is, eventually, if you do that, you'll reach a world-class elite level.
Yeah.
And I think one more thing that you need to be aware of is that it's going to be difficult at first, and you have to embrace that. Yeah. It's going to be stressful. There's going to be points you don't want to go out. You hate the environment. You're like, I don't like clubs. Do you like hot girls? Okay, then you like clubs. If you don't like hot girls, then you can say you don't like clubs. Yeah. And if you're gay, that's fine. Thank you for watching for whatever reason you're watching. But if you're not gay and you like hot girls, then you should like clubs, right? Your mentality needs to have a shift that it's okay that it's stressful. There's always going to be a million excuses. You're going to be like, I don't get enough sleep. I don't get enough this. My city sucks. It's okay. Embrace the suck. Embrace that it's going to be difficult at first. Embrace that you're not going to want to do it at first. Mm-hmm. And understand that when you're at a point where you can go out and let's say approach 20 girls, mm-hmm. when you're at a point where you can actually push yourself to where you're getting in the zone, where you're having fun, where you're talking to everyone, where you're not hesitating anymore, where you reach the indifference threshold, once you get to that point, then you will... I forgot what I was saying. The lights are really getting to me. They're very fucking bright. Yeah.
Actually, here, I actually want to get to the point.
What was the end of the sentence? Because when I edit it, I want to finish the sentence, if I can. Then... Okay, whatever. I don't care.
You got this. Okay, so I always have it where clients are asking me, when did I reach mastery? And you know what the funny thing is about this? I always, so after maybe about 6 years into this, I would say that I felt mastery 6 years in, then I felt mastery 7 years in, then 8 years, then 9 years, then 10 years, then 11, then 12. And it's so funny how you reach a new threshold for what you consider mastery, or the quality of the women go up, or the attractiveness, or the way that women treat you, or the way that society treats you, people around you, or the confidence you feel in your heart and in your soul. And it's constantly getting better. The cool thing about this is that so I do have these categories for a lot of you guys who are new, where it's beginner, intermediate, advanced. Advanced is it's kind of it's a fluid idea, because there's really no such thing as advanced. I mean, we got Steven breaks. We have this Asian friend named Steven. He breaks all the standards for what somebody at game should be good, but he still is getting results. So for him, for a lot of people, I look at Steven and be like, Steven's advanced. For me, I wouldn't have considered Steven advanced. But in his world, yeah, Steven's pretty advanced. Steven gets fucking results. But it's for you, it's not about being advanced. It's getting better every day. Not comparing yourself to other people. It's not comparing yourself to us. It's comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. Stop comparing yourself against somebody else. Because the more you compare yourself against somebody else, the more that you're going to feel low value. And women want a guy that believes in himself, not somebody for a girl to believe in you, you have to firstly believe in yourself. And if you're constantly competing against these ideologues and this idea of the standard of who you're supposed to be with women, you're never going to be perfect, and the girls are never going to trust you or believe in you. So you have to believe in yourself first. And what do you have to do to get there? You're perfect as is. And yes, you are going to continue to improve over a long period of time. You have to look at it like this. Results look like this in a small period of time. Week to week, you're going to be coming to a coaching call with me or AG, and you're going to be like, oh no, I sucked today, but I did really good yesterday, but then I fell apart. Now this week sucks, and this month sucks, and blah, blah, blah. But if you look back over the course of 6 months to a year, you can see how much you truly evolved and improved. Don't look at such a small little stat of like a month or two. Look at 6 months to a year. If in 6 months to a year you improved, you're doing the right thing, and you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Anything you want to add? Or you want to go to the next topic?
Is,
all right, here.
Woo! It's like 102 degrees in here.
Do you want to jump any other topics, or what are you feeling?
Well, maybe we'll go into another topic if we get to at least 8 likes, but if we don't, we're definitely...
Okay, we'll talk for a quick second about this.
For now.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wait for 8. We're gonna talk about this a little bit longer, and if you guys really want us to continue on this, we're gonna shoot for 8 likes. If you guys hit us with 8 likes, we'll go into the next topic. Otherwise, we're probably gonna start getting ready to go out.
Chainsmokers are playing tonight. It's gonna be
yeah, so we got Chainsmokers tonight, which means
they bring the hotties.
So hey, either way. All right,
we're at 5. No, I don't want it. Please, I don't want to get to 8 at 6. God damn it, it's work. I don't want it to work. I don't want to do another topic. God damn it!
Damn you!
It's the karma. I was trying to get an out to not have to keep going.
Oh, hey, all right. So here's here. Actually, leave a comment too on which topic you'd like us to talk about. So we're either thinking about talking about approach anxiety, or we're talking about social circle, cold approach, social circle versus cold approach versus dating apps. Let us know which one you guys want to do. Whichever one wins the vote, we'll go with that. Okay.
Okay, we can look at the comments in this section. There was something. God, I never finished that thought. It's gonna bother me. What do you wear to the club? Personally, I just go in.
Avery just wears a burlap sack at this point.
Yep, I just go in a mankini.
I would say I'm.
It's Michael Sartain guy who lives in Vegas who swears against cold approach. Well, look, I would say Michael Sartain is a very smart guy. He's very charismatic. In terms of social circle, he does have a lot of value to offer. But his marketing, the anti-cold approach marketing. Bro, the guy used to collab with RSD. So I think that part, some of the stuff he says about cold approach is true to a degree, but I think that marketing is disingenuous and actively hurts people because he's telling people not to face their fears, not to face their approach anxiety, and to find the easy way out. And there's a lot of character development. It's great to create an enemy. It's a great marketing tactic.
You don't have to work hard.
But I think it causes a lot of issues, and I would guess there's a lot of guys who go through his coaching and they build a great social circle, but they don't have the balls they're not taught to take risks and to put themselves out there. Yeah. And so they end up not getting results. I'm not saying that happens to everyone, but I bet that happens to the guys that still have anxiety about making a move. I bet they get stuck. And I bet it actually actively is harmful to those people. So I don't like that marketing at all. I still think he's smart, charismatic, good at business, has a lot of good advice about social circle, and does very well at it for himself. Yeah. But that marketing angle, I think, is poisonous, to be completely honest.
He's doing it on purpose. I met the guy, actually, I see the guy out all the time. I hang out with him on occasion. The girls that he gets are no different than me and Avery's. And actually, Avery doesn't even like the girls he gets, to be fair. Avery's not the women that he likes. So, I don't know. I think they're okay.
Your pictures probably suck. I'm just be completely honest. If you think, is it even worth it to use dating apps? You're I don't know. I didn't mean to say it in such a mean voice. Though. But your photos probably suck, and that's why you think it's not worth it, because...
Avery, how many photos have we taken to get our dating apps up?
Tons.
Like thousands? Would you say thousands? I say thousands.
Yeah. I mean, especially since I put it on 13 frames per second.
Dude, we take thousands of photos, and then we also take all those 1,000 photos, we touch them up, and we also we put them on photo fielder to make sure they're the best photos. Then we also show them to girls to make sure they're the best photos. Then we put them on we'll rate them to put them top to the least, and then we'll not just retouch them up once, we'll retouch them up multiple times over to make sure the photos are really high quality photos. If you're not doing that, you think dating apps are bullshit, you haven't tried hard enough. And it's also scary too, because look, you gotta understand, dating apps are not. Look, just because girls don't like you on dating apps doesn't mean you're ugly.
Your pictures make you look less attractive than they could.
I've had photos that rated like as low as 3 out of 10, and then I have photos that rated 9.7. Doesn't mean I'm ugly. It's just like I know how to take better photos.
See, my lowest is a 4.1, so I guess.
Yeah, but not you just don't do dating
all right, so we're not getting to 8 likes, it looks like. So I guess we'll wrap up in that case. So one final thought, if my brain can function with these fucking lights. Might have been a little too much and the smoke. One last thing I want to add is basically expect game to be difficult at first. Mm-hmm. It will be hard. It will be stressful. But if you can get through that, if you're patient with yourself, and the rule we talked about earlier, let's say do at least 500 approaches before you give up, you'll start getting some momentum. You'll start getting into state. You'll start having nights where you have fun. And once you've gotten to that point where you've started to have fun and enjoyed yourself, then you're going to have a completely different perspective once that happens. And then you're going to start looking forward to it. It's going to be like an adrenaline rush that is something that you're like, I need to do this. I want to do this. It's an addiction, but you have to get there.
We're one like away.
Well, I guess it's time to wrap up. About time to wrap up. How do gaming college as a student? How do you game in college as a student? God damn it. Fuck. Got to 8. All right.
Good shit, man. Good shit.
Fuck. I've heard people do that strategy.
We'll
I never want now. Oh,
we'll do one more.
We're at 9. Now we do 20 topics. All right. How do you game in college as a student? Look, you don't want to be. It's social circle. You can do cold approach though. In my college, it's a larger university, 40,000 students. If it's below like 10,000, I'd be more cautious. But if it's 30, 40,000, 25,000 even, it's fine. You just don't want to go ultra direct, ultra physical, and ultra aggressive, right? You just want to be a little bit more like, oh, I like your outfit, or I thought you looked interesting, as opposed to, man, you're sexy, I like your tits. Okay, if you do that to every girl, you're super direct and you're aggressive, that will start to cause problems potentially. But I never had a single issue. There was a girl who I approached her. It turned out she was in one of my classes. And then she came to sit next to me because she recognized me because she couldn't resist the charm. And then we ended up dating. So cold approach in college is an amazing opportunity. I kind of, I feel a little old to go to college campuses, but I miss those days of, meeting girls. There's so many, and they're very friendly. It's a nice environment. It's a really good place to meet women generally. Just don't go ultra aggressive. And if you're in like a community college, then it's far more social circle as opposed to, spam approaching.
So I learned cold approach off of approaching at colleges. Actually, that's where I learned cold approach for the most part. I go out in Sacramento for a long time, but what we do is we do what we call blowing out of college, where we approach like 1 in 3 girls at the college. So Sac State knew our names. Like 1/3 of the girls knew our names. There was one time where I made out with like 3 girls in a day on a college campus, and like it came to a point where like then the fucking sorority leader was like texting like, hey, there's this guy around campus making out with girls, shit like that. So I never went back there. But I'll say this.
Well, that's exactly what I was talking about, though.
Yeah, don't do that. No, don't.
Because this is when you were younger. But if you're being too aggressive and physical, even if it's working, that can cause problems. But as long as you're a little bit more sly about it, it's fine.
Well, here, watch. So I'll say this. Even though I did go too aggressive, which I'll say this, the advice I'd give myself back in the day would be not to go so aggressive. But even though I did go so aggressive, I'm still getting laid to this day because of those girls. Those girls still hit me up to this day because I did that. That was 10 years ago, 8 years ago. 9. That was like 8 or 9 years ago, and I'm still getting laid to this day because I decided to do that. Also, the skill sets and the social skills I developed by doing that are unreal. And so the skill sets itself got me laid to this day. So even if like, honestly, go light, be very generous in rejection, be really sweet, really nice. And if a girl does get mad about that, then the girl's probably like has something fucked up with her, to be fair. But for the most part, it's just about being like building a social circle. The girls that don't like you, guess what? If a girl just wants to friend zone you, hell yeah, you know why? Because girls like guys that are surrounded by women. If you make a female friend, guess what? If you have like
female friend, disgusting.
But if you have a dozen hot female friends, guess what? You're gonna get laid because you have a dozen hot female friends. Like, dude, like, yeah, I love it, dude. Like, a girl's like, oh no, sorry, I have a boyfriend. Be like, don't even fucking worry about it. It's really even sweet you say that. Honestly, hey, I'll say hi to you if I ever see you out. Honestly, good meeting you. Then walk away. Like, leave them on a good note. If you're like over here like, ugh, or you're like autistically just like, cool, on to the next one, on to the next girl, on to the next object. Then yeah, the girls are gonna get.
Was that me?
That was some clients that I think we dealt with in the past.
All right, so what's the next topic? Now that we are obligated to do. Thanks, guys.
How to overcome your fear of women now, which I think kind of like fits in this whole goal because like a lot of people who are new, they have an issue with even getting out there to approach initially, and so I think a lot of people would like to know this. Like, how do they overcome their fear of women?
You know what I think the biggest thing is accepting that it's a universal fear. It's the fear of rejection, right? It's the fear of the performance. Like, oh, if I actually do succeed and she ends up naked, am I going to be able to, do it right? Or maybe I won't get hard or whatever. So it's the fear of Rejection and the fear of success, both. The first step to overcoming that is admitting that you have that. It's perfectly normal, and everyone has that. Because I hear a lot of guys say, I don't have approach anxiety. That's not my issue. I don't have approach anxiety. Do you approach? No. Well, then you have approach anxiety. Because if you didn't have approach anxiety and you saw a hot girl, there's no reason you wouldn't approach her. Right? It's a rationalization you're going to make. Well, I would get a bad reputation, or there's no point. It's all beneath that. It's all approach anxiety, right? It's all that fear of rejection. We all have it. It's universal. And the only way to overcome it is to face it head on. There's no way to trick yourself. There's no way to manipulate yourself. There's no easy way out. The only way to overcome your fear of women is to put yourself into experiences with them that will be challenging at first, that will be anxiety provoking at first. But anxiety, think of it as something that makes you feel alive. Think of it as excitement, right? You feel anxious, you feel stressed because there's something great that could happen. Yeah. That's why you feel that way. You don't feel anxious because you suck or because something's wrong with you. You feel anxious because this is a beautiful woman. You don't know what could happen, right? She could potentially be your girlfriend. She could be the mother of your children. She could be part of your harem, whatever direction you go with it. But there's potential for something. It's exciting. It's an opportunity for growth, because every time you approach a girl and you don't want to, you are overcoming and chipping away at your ego. Mm-hmm. So you have to admit that you do have a fear of women, that you have a fear of intimacy, of getting rejected. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have that. We're kind of taught to hide ourselves from our fears, to pretend we don't have them. That's part of the culture, right? But as soon as you accept that, then you can start to change. But if you deny that you have this fear in the first place, you're screwed. You're not going to give yourself the leeway. You're not going to open up a lane in your mind to where you could actually change that. You're going to prevent yourself from taking any action in the first place.
Yeah. I'll say this too. I mentioned this actually at the beginning of this video. To get good with girls, you have to change who you are. And so you have a lifetime of being a certain person. You've been the person you are right now your entire life. And now what's going on is you have fear of ego death. You have to approach a girl, which is an action that you would never take. So guess what happens? You shake, you sweat, you overthink everything. Your brain tries to come up with reasons for you not to take the action that's good for you. So guess what? If the smarter you are too, the worse this is, because it'll come up with more elaborate reasons for why you shouldn't approach a girl. Come up with these you smart motherfuckers out there. You guys are really smart. Well, guess what? You're working with all the extra RAM. And that extra RAM you have is extra RAM for your brain to come up with some wild fucking, soundingly very reasonable, very, very reasonable things for you not to go and approach a girl. And guess what? It's all bullshit. Anything that's stopping you from doing anything that's good for you is bullshit. Any reason you have not to approach a girl, bullshit. And dude, we honestly are constantly trying to talk ourselves into approaching more women. We're not always in the pocket either. We're not always like fucking just flying through the club. And we accept that. We accept that. And we play ourselves where we're at. If you are having a hard time approaching women, understand that it's because it goes against your ego. It's like, this is not who I am. So your ego's trying to keep you consistent with past action. So how do you trick this part of your brain to try and keep you consistent with past action and taking actions that are good for you? Take the smallest integer of action. I call it tiered approaching. If you can't go all the way to go and approaching a girl and be like, hey, what's your name? You're telling my fucking type, you're sexy, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. If you can't do that, give her a passing compliment. I do that. The majority of my approaches nowadays are passing compliments. And let's say, like, hypothetically, if you give a passing compliment and a girl likes you, guess what? You roll back and be like, actually, what's your name? And now you can start the conversation. So if you're having a hard time with approaching, take the smallest integer of action. It's actually a book called Atomic Habits that talks about this. Take the smallest integer of action. If you can't go indirect, direct, go direct. And if you can't go direct, approach to make a friend. If you can't approach to make a friend, give a passing compliment. Now, if you can't give a passing compliment, then you're a bitch.
No, then just do some cocaine and you'll be good.
Yeah, drugs.
And drugs is the next level beneath that.
Yeah.
But okay, so you need to think of this fear and anxiety as basically it is creating a jail that is self-created, or it is putting you in a jail in your own mind is what it's doing, and you're locking the key. That is what anxiety does. So if you think of in terms of dating, in terms of all the potential success you could have with women, in terms of meeting a high-quality girlfriend, in terms of getting laid, whatever it is, that fear and anxiety locks the door and makes all of that impossible until you face that anxiety head on, right? That's what happens. And the great thing is that the best feeling in the world, possibly the greatest feeling in the world, other than sex without a condom, is that feeling that you had a fear, that you were held in that jail cell in your mind, and that you got out of it.
Yeah.
Right? It's overcoming your ego. It's overcoming your fears. It's facing them. There is no better and more liberating feeling on this earth. And when you realize that, then this idea of picking up women, it's not like, oh, and slaying a dragon, it's this huge stressful ordeal. It is something that you can look forward to, because you realize that you are going to get out of your own way, you're going to destroy your ego, and you're going to become a version of yourself that not only do you have more opportunities, but you get the best high, other than maybe meth, the best high on the planet.
You're talking everybody into doing the worst things. We're trying to talk them into doing the best thing for them. They were like doubling down, sex without a condom, meth.
By the way, we'll only do another topic if we get to 25 likes, so it's impossible.
Good luck, motherfuckers. Okay, well here, here, let's set a reasonable goal, okay? Like what, 12? 15? 15's too much, I feel.
I mean, it's already getting
That's
almost
too much
time to get ready. And yeah.
Is it? Okay, all right. In that case, don't even
That's why I said an impossible goal.
Yeah, okay, yeah, don't even worry about that then. If you guys like us a lot.
But if we get to 15 likes, I'll start an OnlyFans.
Hey, that's the real dream of everybody watching this video right now. They want us to see us
watch it, the likes start going down.
All right, so here.
We should probably have a conclusion.
No, I do. Okay, look, I got
Am I legally obliged to start an OnlyFans if they get to 15? Fuck.
Oh shit, man. Okay, look, guys. All right, look, with approaching and whatnot, look, you gotta look at it this way, okay? This isn't supposed to be easy, and none of this is supposed to be easy. Game is supposed to be hard, and thank God it's hard. You know why? Because those pussies out there, I've seen too many of them. Those pussies that are out there trying to game. Thank God they can't get in this shit because it's too hard for them. Either you came into this because you have no choice but to be here, or because you're strong. I came into this because I had no choice. I'm in this because I had no choice. It was this or death. It was like this or death. I wasn't like somebody that believed in himself. I was somebody that thought that I had no chance of ever figuring this shit out. I don't know where AG came from. I have an idea.
Oh no, it was harsh. I was
well,
so
you're
bad
very
with women.
smart,
One day I bought a gun. And I realized
Let's talk about
I'm just kidding.
all right, John, chill.
Okay, so I mean, I had a really good point I wanted to make. It's gonna be hard to make the point now.
Let it come to you.
It'll come to you. Okay. Any last points?
Yeah. Okay. Look, it's not supposed to be easy.
That's where we end the I bought a gun. Just end video.
Look, okay, so if you're having a hard time approaching, I know how difficult it is. Do not give up. There's always an answer to your problem, okay? If you go out day after day and you find that there's nothing that you can do, you feel like you're hitting your head against the wall, comes down to creative thinking. If something doesn't work, try another thing. If that thing doesn't work, try another thing. I'll say this, there's been so many different things. So, for example, messaging on dating apps. There are times where, like, I'll send a message and the message doesn't get, like, a response. I'll send it maybe, like, 6 times and realize it doesn't work. Then I'll try something new. 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 Then I find something that actually works. And now I know that works. In the same way with going out and cold approaching, if one thing doesn't work, like if something I say doesn't work, try something he says. But if something that doesn't work with cold approach, try something new. Everybody has their own strategy to get in the zone. If you find something that works for you to allow yourself to approach yourself in that place,
minus
do
trolling.
It. Minus, yeah.
I have a disease.
Yeah. You have no
Start
idea.
pretending to have a seizure, shit like that.
When I'm warming up, this guy over here is the most awkward person to be with when I'm out of it.
That's why. That's what makes it funny,
He
though.
kills me, honestly.
Okay. One point to leave on that I want to bring up is keep in mind that in life, anything that makes your life shittier as a whole in the broader picture is easy. Everything that makes your life garbage is what's easy, always. Yeah. And anything that makes your life good as a whole is going to be difficult. It's the things other people don't do. Because that makes it have value because other people are unwilling to do it. So pickup falls into that category. Yes, it's difficult, but it makes your life better. And keep in mind the benefits of facing your fear with women, it bleeds into every other area of life. Because I would have never been willing to make a business where I'm now making decent money. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have the confidence that I got from pickup, right? It made my stress and anxiety levels lower. It made my, hanging out with family in the past before pickup, I couldn't even do that. I was like, oh, what if I say the wrong thing and they don't like? That's how I was, and now I can actually have fun just hanging out with friends. Like, it makes every area of your life better when you do something that is challenging. And that is why it is worth facing your fear with women.
Damn. Okay. Gang. That's honestly pretty good.
Oh, so now sell boot camps maybe?
Yeah, sell boot camps.
I mean, honestly though, if you're stuck, the easiest way to get over that is to get in-person coaching, right? If you're stuck with that fear and you've been thinking about this for a long time, you want to do it, but you're dipping your feet in the water, you're not really diving in. When you take a boot camp, you no longer have an option to dabble. You don't have an option to, oh, I'm going to go out one time every 3 months. You can't do that because we're going to push you to do, on average, it's about 100 approaches on the weekend. Unless you're too busy getting laid, then you might approach less but that's a good reason.
Yeah.
So, if this is something you're struggling with and you value your time more than the financial investment, right? You value saving potentially years off your learning curve, then sign, God damn it, that was well said. Then click the link below to learn more about our in-person coaching.
Gang. All right.
And do we want to look at any comments?
Yeah, let's answer some questions.
Johnny Burba's, okay, Johnny Burba, look, I feel bad for him.
Who's Johnny Burba?
He's a British guy who's cringe as hell. And I made a video that was like really mean to him. I feel bad for him because he's just like a soft, like you can tell he's got a lot of social anxiety issues and stuff. And I feel bad for it, but he shouldn't be a dating coach. I mean, like his whole strategy is to be really cringe and like feel good that you did something. Right? Oh, I talk to people. That it's better than nothing, but he gets stuck at level 1.
It's good at a certain level, for sure.
That's battery's dying, so I guess we can't.
Well, here, just answer a couple.
So 4 more likes and I start an OnlyFans.
4 more likes and he's gonna start OnlyFans. There's something
Actually,
I saw.
made it 69.
There's something over here I saw that was like a good question. I thought. Yeah, approaching more goals is definitely always the right answer. I mean, with critical thinking, okay, if you're approaching the same way every day, you're gonna set a bad habit. So make sure. I've had guys actually when I used to work with RSD. I had this guy that approached me in a club in Sacramento, and this guy I coached coached him like 7-8 years ago, and this guy looked the exact same as when I met him, was doing the same approach, and he came up to me being like, hey, look, I don't think game works, I think it's bullshit, and I turned to him, I go, all right, well, have you been doing anything different? And then he looks off at me like this, and he goes, I
Holy
haven't.
shit, I didn't think
about doing something different. No, try something different. Try something different, like...
That's also very rare that someone is so bad that they make no progress.
I've almost never seen that. Honestly,
it's very rare, but if you're completely bullheaded and you lack self-awareness, self-reflection, that can happen, but generally you're going to get better if you approach a lot and you increase the rate of progress the more that you analyze, right? Writing field reports is something no one does. And whenever I make a video about it, no one watch, like the views are always low because, that's like
nobody wants to hear about
technical and that's... That would get real results. No, thank you. I'll watch the video about buying a new watch.
Or like doing some dumb approach.
Yeah.
Doing some like dumb approach. I want to approach like what was it one he did? Like it was approaching like Ted Mosby.
That's how you get the views.
Yeah,
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, people want to watch videos about that, but not videos that are actually good for them. Okay, here.
All right, so the phone is dying, so I guess we have a hard out now.
We'll do one more, then we'll like bounce out of it. Best general advice for those stuck in intermediate purgatory. One, obviously, he's gonna say it, so I'm gonna cut in front of him. Take a boot camp. So I'm gonna cut in front of him. Say, take a boot camp. Or number 2.
I cut in front of you, but
yeah. Write field reports. Think critically, because there's an answer to your problem, dude. I was also stuck in intermediate purgatory for a long ass time. It fucking sucks, dude. It feels like you're lost, and feels like you have no choice. It feels like you're ugly, and you feel like you have no ability to control your outcome. Yes, you do. Honestly, it was through the grinding through intermediate purgatory, through that hardship, that actually taught me how to like actually understand game. So when somebody gets on a coaching call with me, I know how to fix their problem. I know what they're going through. Usually within the first few sentences, I know what's going on with the client. And it comes from me like actually grinding it out myself and having the same fucking issue. It's not like you having that issue with intermediate purgatory. Think critically, pen to paper. What the fuck can you do better? If it's approaching more, it's approaching more. It's as simple as that. If it's as simple as like...
A lot of people are stuck in intermediate purgatory. You approach like 5 girls a night and you think you're going really hard.
Yeah.
And you're not going hard. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's that simple. But it's also, do you lead? How is your eye contact? Do you speak with a lot of emotion and energy, or are you boring? Like, there's a million things that you can work on. Yeah.
Your confidence, you believe in yourself, or you're a bad motherfucker. Are you somebody that, like, so you look at the girls you want to date, are you the guy that she would date? You're looking at the guys she dates, are you one of those guys that she would love to date?
Do you whip your dick out? Like, there's all these things that could be what's getting in your way. So you got to be aware of that.
Oh man! All right. John
That's
Sarka.
one of the biggest secrets.
John
right?
Sarka. Okay, chill. Okay, look. Okay, before we get canceled. All right, guys, we're gonna get bounced because my phone's about to die.
I did do some coke, so that's a joke. Just It's a joke. Wink, wink.
John, in case you guys are curious, John Circa does a lot of coke. We're actually shooting a video for that. Probably post it up tomorrow or the next day.
We should approach girls like John Zerka. We should like act like him, and like just do a bunch of I'm famous, by the way, and like we should approach like him. I think that's a good idea. We should do that.
Okay, there we go. All right, guys, if you guys want OnlyFans with my boy over here.
We're only at 12. No OnlyFans. Sorry, guys.
All right, guys. With that being said, peace. Now, how do you turn this thing off? Because it's been a while since I've done these things.